pass off the corner. Around he went.
Welcome to the Low Line.
Just talking. Here he comes. He got it this time. It's going to be a drag race. Whoa! They touch. Brad Keselowski won this race.
Welcome to the Low Line Podcast. I'm Roddy Mitten here with Chris Blundell. He's obviously very business professional kind of guy. You know, only professional memes.
I'm the doctor of memes.
Wearing sunglasses when we're recording
That's
here
right,
at
that's right.
Just about 8 p.m. So.
Yeah, there's no sun, but I still got the sunglasses. You can't never not be protected by the sun. So,
but like I said, welcome to the Low Line Podcast.
That's it.
On the bottom of the screen here, maybe we're going to put some cool media. You know, just
places you could go and look for us more. You
Yeah.
can stalk us if you want to.
Yeah, we'll be on Twitter,
it's great.
Instagram, Facebook for the older generation. We're on MySpace. We're on Hinge now, right? I believe.
Hinge is a dating app. That's
Yeah.
where I met my girl. Very thankful for it. But I'm just saying, we're not on Hinge. We are not on Hinge.
But we got to get on all the social medias. But we'll get there. So yeah, we're just gonna make the show. Two friends, just looking to talk NASCAR. We got some guests coming in the next few weeks. We're really excited about.
Yes, we do.
But
we do.
let's just honestly dive right into it. Daytona 500. What are you thinking? What's your predictions?
You know, I think Corey LaJoie or Cody Ware are going to win. However, my long shot is Denny Hamlin. And that's totally a joke. I unfortunately think Denny Hamlin is going to win. I can't stand Denny Hamlin, but I think Denny Hamlin's probably going to be your favorite. All those Toyotas look pretty good drafting together the other night. It's painful because I don't like Toyota either, but as painful as it is for me to say, I think Toyota's probably going to have a good Daytona 500. As much as I don't like him either, Bubba Wallace is a hell of a road racer. He sucks at road racing. He's a very good restrictor plate racer. So, I mean, you could see the 23 up there. You could see the 11 up there. You could see, Kyle Busch has always been there, but for whatever reason, the Daytona 500's got away from him all these years. So I don't know if Kyle Busch is the guy. Kurt Busch has won it before, and Kurt Busch is going to be in that tandem with all them Toyotas. So he's going to be tough to beat, I think. Granted, he only won that because Kyle Larson ran out of fuel in 2017 on the last lap. That's the reason why he won that year. But could he have made him? Whatever. I'm not getting into it. But whatever. I think Denny Hamlin's probably your pick to win. And then long shot, I guess it's Bubba Wallace. Because I don't know if he's a favorite necessarily. He's a pretty good restrictor plate racer, but he's a long shot for me, I think.
Well, as a devout Bubba Wallace fan of the friend group here, I'm gonna say thank you for picking Bubba as your long shot. I wouldn't quite put him in the long shot. He's in that Toyota Alliance. He's gonna be running with the Gibbs cars. They're gonna work well together. I would really look for either JGR or 2311 car to be up front coming to the end. But then again, it's Daytona. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. It's anybody's race.
There could be 10 cars left running at the end of the day, and if Rick Ware plays their cars right, and you got a guy like David Reagan who knows how to get it done.
David Reagan, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
You got.
Yeah.
You got Cody Ware. Right. Everybody wants to, shit on the guy,
the Biff's in it too.
You could get it done.
So who's your top pick?
So if I have to single someone out, obviously I have to go Denny Hamlin. Yeah. But all the JGR 2311s will be up there all day, I believe. I think this is a year Toyota kind of does what Hendrick did last year, and they just have dominance.
Oh, so we're getting into this year now.
Yeah.
Or just the 500. Are you talking?
Well, we were just talking 500, but if you wanted to talk the rest of the year, we could.
Because who's the McDowell won last year, but that was such a wild ending to that race.
But that's how Daytona is. You never.
Yeah,
really know.
Exactly. That's why you can't really predict. It's one of those races where you don't really have the best idea on who's going to get it.
My philosophy is I'm a sports bettor. I just go down and I take the bottom half of the field and I'll just put $5 on each one of the drivers. If one of them hits, you're making money.
Exactly. Even though you put money on a lot of.
I believe McDowell was 67-1 last year, or something like that.
And you put $5 down on him.
Nah.
So you didn't do it last year.
Nah, I'm always on the Suarez betting train. I'm
right.
waiting for him to get his first one.
He's going to do it this year, I think. I think he's a hell of a driver, and the craziest thing about Daniel Suarez,
he ran well last year.
He ran really good. I didn't
lead laps at the Bristol Dirt Track. I was amazed.
If you remember correctly, he stunk like most of the first half of the year. and then he really turned it on.
Mhm.
You know, he was running probably 10th to 15th a lot of those races down the stretch into the playoffs and everything. And
Yeah, we can
I mean-
get into like the championship, season predictions, but to stay on the Daytona topic,
yeah, sorry, I
bringing-
got carried away
we're
there.
bringing
Rod.
a next gen car
Yeah, we are.
with very limited
Yeah.
parts. I was reading
Yeah.
some teams only have 2 cars right now.
Even the bigger teams.
Even the
even
bigger
big
teams
teams,
aren't even
yeah.
bringing backups to Daytona. So how will this affect the racing and the duels and so forth into the 500?
Well, I certainly think everybody's going to be a little more cautious going into this race, except for probably some of the teams that got to get into this.
Right.
Like New York Racing with Greg Biffle, and then you have a few of the other teams. Big Money Racing, they were so slow the other day in practice, sorry. But
And
outside...
you're referring to the money team, Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, Floyd
correct?
Mayweather, yep, with Kaz Growler running the car, yeah.
Sick paint scheme, by the way.
I hate it, but it's okay,
You're going to
I'm-
find there's a lot of disagreement,
There's a lot of disagreements.
but that's
But-
okay.
but I don't-
Contrast isn't a bad thing.
It isn't a bad thing. It's good to have the debate. I don't really know, because I know a lot of teams are being told to a lot of drivers are being told don't do anything wild, because we need these cars and we need to make sure we have these cars around for a while. And they say that the composite body that they have is going to save these cars from huge damage, and they're going to be able to save them if they get into a crash or whatever. But I don't know. They haven't really tested a big crash at Daytona with these cars yet, to where you could be totaling these cars. They might be a composite body, but you could still destroy the hell out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it might be a bad comparison, but going back to the Clash, seeing who was it that got dumped in the inside wall?
Amarola. No, Justin Haley.
Yeah,
But that car's repairable. But
that car was destroyed.
the
Now,
left-
it was
the left
a
front was-
concrete wall.
the left front was destroyed.
It was a concrete wall.
without the safe repair. Right, I get
so
that. I
it's
get
a little
that.
bit of a different situation, but
But
If
they
a
were
wreck
going.
like
But
that
that,
happens,
they
you don't
were
have a backup.
they were going what at that point?
You're not
100,
running.
125 miles per hour.
you're
They're going to be going 190,
Yeah,
180, 190, whatever.
550. Don't get to it.
550.
So-
Yeah. But still, the point is, if you hitting the wall at 180 miles per hour, I don't care what body's on the car. Something's going to go wrong with it. You know what I mean? So, I think they're going to be more cautious, Rod. I do. I think they're going to be more cautious. At the same time, though, when the green flag hits at the Daytona 500, it's going to end at that point. They don't care what they wreck. The risk is the risk. Going out to win the Daytona 500, they might conserve it the first 100 laps, 150 laps, but when it's go time, somebody's going to make a move, and there still will be crashes. We've seen every year. That's just the nature of pack racing, regardless of what the circumstance is with the availability of cars. I don't think that anybody's going to change their mindset. Daytona 500 is still the Daytona 500.
Yeah, for sure. I was reading the story of Joey Logano saying he's just going to go all out for the duels. He said, if I try to race conservatively, I'm going to get into trouble.
No,
So
that's
you
just
You
stupid.
got to go flat out.
No, that's just stupid. He's a guy that's already locked into the race. If he gets crashed, he gets crashed. It's pack racing.
If you run in the back, though, I honestly think you're more likely to get in a wreck. If I'm in this race
right,
and I'm up front,
right,
I want to stay up
right.
front.
But here's the problem: you might throw a stupid block and crash yourself doing it that way
Well,
too.
if your name's not Ricky Stenhouse, you're not going to throw a stupid block.
I just think it's a bad idea. They jumped, and this is something you're going to hear from me plenty of times. They jumped into this new car. Nobody has any money for these new cars. They don't have the availability and the supplies to build these new cars in an excess amount like they did when the Gen 6s first came around, and every generation before then. So they're sending out all these teams with 2 or 3 cars, and for the whole year right now, as of right now, I'm sure they'll build more throughout the year. But
Yeah.
my point is right now they're starting a year at a restrictor plate track with 1 or 2 cars given to every team, maybe 3 for the bigger teams, whatever. But the point is, it's stupid. You want to send them to these tracks where that crashes are going to happen because it's pack racing.
Yeah,
And you put these drivers in a box and you tell them, oh, we can't race, we can't do this, we can't do that, we're going to lose our... No, it's just, that doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah, we're definitely going to see some teams wreck some cars tomorrow. I believe that.
Oh, 100%.
And it's going to be interesting to see. Are they going to have a backup car? Are they going to take a car from another team? Or are they going to be calling the shop in Charlotte to hurry up and,
But
run something down to the
But
track?
then that's the next big kicker, because you're rushing these cars down, and God forbid you need them to get down there on time. What if they miss something, and then it's going to be like hell to fix for the inspection, pre-race inspection. Teams will have to go to the back of the field. what if something's defunct on the new motor or whatever? Because if they're rushing to get it repaired, there could be something seriously wrong with this car. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a very eerie thing. I feel like teams didn't have enough time to prepare with these new cars, even though they had an extra year. And it's good that NASCAR kept the Gen 6 around last year because of the coronavirus and all that shit.
Look, I know NASCAR said it from the beginning, but this is truly evening the playing field.
It is.
Every team is in. It's not like, there's just some teams in this boat of having no cars. It's every team that has a shortage. So it's really going to test these teams and see who can kind of come out of this issue on top.
Wish they gave more time with more cars being built. But that's not just for one team or the other. It's for every team. Like, God forbid, what if a smaller, you want to talk about smaller teams needing help? Okay, great, you even the playing field. But what if they crash their car as opposed to what if Hendrick crashes one of their cars?
Well, the nice thing I think is
it's not the same deal.
I don't think NASCAR will let a situation happen where a team doesn't have a car. I honestly believe if there comes a situation where, say, Trackhouse goes out and wrecks all their cars, and they're not going to let, an up-and-coming team sit out of a race. They're going to say, all right, well, let me scrounge up all these cars or these parts, and here's one more for this week, and we're going to sell you, because NASCAR is kind of controlling the sale of these parts and components.
You would think. But I think if it gets to that point, I think you'll see Gen 6 back at some point this year.
I don't believe that'll happen because I think a lot of teams have already sold those cars off.
Well, they'll get them back.
To the lower teams.
Right, but they're widely available. So
0% chance that happens.
I don't know. I disagree. I think that they're easier to get and the price will go up, and Xfinity teams will sell it back to all these Cup teams if that were to happen. Because if teams crash all their cars out, there's a lot of teams that crash because you got Daytona now, you have Atlanta in March, right? And Atlanta, they repaved it, so it's going to be more pack racing there. So you're probably likely to see a little more, big wad ups there too. And then you have Talladega in April, right? Mm-hmm. April or May, whatever the schedule is. So you got 3 races before June where you have pack racing, and I don't know if they're going to build a whole lot of excess next gen chassis and bodies by that point. You don't know that. So what if a lot of teams wad up a lot of their shit? You know what I mean?
It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, teams are going to be preaching that in their drivers' ears. Take care of the equipment, which is the way it should be. It
just doesn't work like that though. Sometimes when you got to go out and you want to win the Daytona 500, when you want to go out and win Talladega, when you want to go out and win a Cup Series race, sometimes you can't just sit back and relax. And what fun is that? If NASCAR wants to create better racing for the fans, what fun is that to tell everybody to sit back and take care of their car? No, that's not racing.
I, for one, am so excited for this season. I don't think I've had this anticipation going into a NASCAR season ever.
I have.
You're kind of a boomer when it comes to that, so I'm sure
the
06 season when you were 10 years old was way better.
It was way better. Jeff
Let's
Gordon
get
was
away from Daytona. Let's get into our segment. Early championship predictions. Who do you got?
Well, you can't pick anybody precise because the championship race is 4 guys. So you can't, you could pick a guy, but they could get to that point, but they might not win. So
right. Well, give me your manufacturer that you think will be fast.
No, I think everybody's gonna. I think all the top teams are gonna be fast because if like I said, if we go to Gen 6, then there's gonna be a lot more complexity. But listen, no, you never know. If you stay with this next gen car, the only things to work on if you're having trouble is the engine. So all these teams are going to pour all their money into the engines. So I think everybody's going to be fast by the end of the year. Everybody's going to figure out their motor by the end of the year. Hendrick, Gibbs, Penske, Stuart Haas. Everybody's going to figure that part out because there's not much else to work out of. And the lower teams are also going to be bad as a result of that because they don't have the money and the personnel to work on these motors and work on the speed the way these big teams have it. So if I have to pick 4 guys that I think are going to be there at the end, I think it's going to be close to the same last year. I think Truex is on his way out. I think he's going to win a few times, but I don't think he's going to go all the way to the championship this year. I think you're going to see Kyle Larson there again. I really, really believe you're going to see Kyle Busch there this year because Kyle Busch just doesn't stay away from the limelight like that too often. I think you're going to see Denny Hamlin there again. And then I think you're going to see there's a lot of good ones to pick. I think I'm gonna go on a limb here. I think you're gonna see Kurt Busch as the fourth of the four because I think he's gonna do real well because I think Gibbs and 23XI are gonna share a lot of information. 2311,
Yeah,
sorry.
right.
I think they're gonna share a lot of information. I think, no offense, I think Kurt's a way better driver than Bubba Wallace, and I just think him with all that extra speed this year as opposed to Ganassi last year. We saw him win. We went to the race where we saw Ganassi's last Cup win. We were at the race in Atlanta when
We did.
we did in July last year, July 2021. But I think Kurt will be the fourth, and he's my underdog pick. But I think out of the four, I do think Denny Hamlin will probably win the championship this year. He's just due for one finally. You know, as much as I hate that son of a bitch, he's gonna. I think he's due for it this year. I really do.
Yeah, I have to go with you there. I think Toyota's going to be the team to beat. I think there will be some fast Chevys, but I think on the whole Toyota will be fast. The JGR Alliance, like you said, 2311, they're going to be really strong. I think Bubba and Kurt will probably run about equal terms, in my opinion. Kurt's kind of getting a little bit older. He may be losing that step, but he still has a drive to help the team. So I think his experience will really catapult that team and probably honestly help JGR as well. I think Kyle Busch will be fast. The last hurrah for M&M's. Story got to write itself there. Get another Kyle Busch championship, maybe at least to the Final Four. I mean, I think Kyle Busch still has a lot of want to win, and outside of that great heart of his.
Yeah, no, Kyle's a beast. He blocked me on Twitter. We'll get into that later. But
I mean, I can't say I have any drivers that have blocked me on Twitter yet. Maybe some hockey players.
Pat got blocked by Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, well, that's the.
And he got blocked by Denny Hamlin on Instagram.
Well, when you're trolling these guys, these kind of things do happen.
Yeah, that does happen. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You want to get into the segment?
Yes.
Let's get into the
Let's
segment.
Let's do it.
So this week we're going to touch on die-cast cars.
Yes.
Everybody loves die-cast cars.
Sure.
They're pretty much toys for adults.
I'm a man with a tie, and I'm about to talk about toy cars.
All right. What's your favorite sponsorship kind of deal that they do with these die-casts when they used to market them more?
What do you mean? Are you talking about just the paint scheme itself, or are you talking about?
So going into the.
Oh, are you talking about
the band scheme?
Oh, okay. Well, I would say the band's my favorite scheme. Here's what I have to say. I don't have any of them, but you remember how they used to have Dale Jr. They would have a Budweiser can and you could pull it out and it was a Dale Jr. car,
One of those
yeah, exactly, or a Jeff Gordon. It was a Pepsi can.
Yeah.
Those
Those were cool promotions.
Those were cool. Miller Lite, but a Miller Lite thing here too. I actually brought this one over. It's a puddle of mud, and I guess we can get an image shown up here. We can pull that up when we're at it. But puddle of mud, great band. I mean, I don't know if they're a great band or not, but they're a band I enjoy. But in 2004, Rusty Wallace, he drove the puddle of mud car. I believe it was at Chicago. I don't know where he placed in that race.
Well, I remember.
Regardless, he didn't win, so it doesn't
In the
matter.
2000s, they had races where they would have 5 or 6 cars, all with different rock bands on the cars.
Oh yeah, because you had Kevin Harvick had
Right.
Kiss one year, and then Dale Jr. had Stained one year. He had Three Doors Down another
I
year.
know we still have the Darlington Throwback Weekend, but it was really cool when teams would kind of collaborate on these schemes.
Right.
You had the Muppet schemes.
Right.
You had 5 or 6 guys running a Muppets car.
Right.
You had the
Right.
Looney Tunes week.
Right.
Now they really don't do that
and then
kind of thing.
You had Superman and the Marvel or whatever. I don't know what Marvel or DC. I don't know. We had Superman, Batman, all the Roush guys drove that in Michigan one year, I think. Right.
Yeah, definitely. I do know we still do some music sponsorships.
Yeah.
I know Tyler Reddick had the Gimme Radio car. He had Megadeth on there. He
Megadeth.
had Kill Switch, which is just awesome as a metalhead. You and me both, I remember we really enjoyed
Well, I don't
those
really
schemes.
like Kill Switch, but I respect them. I just don't really like them that much. I like Megadeth though. Megadeth's badass.
You gotta get on the wave with some of the
I do. You're right.
rock
You're right.
heavy metal.
You're right. And then, they also, I remember, they also had, I think it was 97, I think Ward Burton had the Stanley Cup Finals.
I don't remember
Cup
that.
Crazy. It was the Red Wings. He ran out of Michigan or something like that. I think that's what it was.
That's pretty
Don't
cool.
quote me on it, but I think it might have been that. But,
Well, Dale Jr. was supposed to run an Eagles car, and then the NFL shut that down, if you remember that. At Pocono.
yes, at Pocono. And then,
the NFL's
because they did the whole, it was with Exalta, right? It was the whole Exalta Eagles.
Exalta's a
thing.
part of the Eagles, yeah.
Right.
So the NFL's a no-fun league.
No
but
fun
I
league
think
at all.
everybody knows that.
Yeah, everybody knows about
Junior
that.
had the MLB cars. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, the MLB, the All-Star cars. I have I have the 2002 one. I think I don't have the 01 one. I have the 02 one.
I think the driving force behind a lot of those paint schemes was honestly to sell the die casts.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, 100%.
You think back to the mid 2000s.
Well, they produced
the
they were
die
produced
casts
thousands.
were produced.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, by the truckload, and
Oh,
nowadays you pre-order a die cast, it takes a year to come in. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for die casts I pre-ordered last year.
Oh yeah.
And the quality, you know, feel this car.
It's heavy. It's heavy, man.
It's heavy, man. You know, and
Me
that
too.
was a $60, $70 piece. This is a $60, $70 piece nowadays, and
It's inflated, man.
It's a plastic toy.
It's literally inflated.
Yeah, it's like Tom Brady's footballs.
That's not funny. Tom Brady's the man. Knock that off.
So let's wrap this up. I want to keep the episodes a little short here. You know, people don't want to hear us ramble too much. What can we look forward to with this show?
Well, we have some interviews coming up. We have a development driver next week.
Keep lips sealed on that. You know,
We're gonna be quiet with that, but he'll be around.
he'll be around. After that, we
we're
have
ex-
some other podcast hosts. You know, we're going to bring on.
Yeah, and
You guys might recognize.
And we want to hear what you all want to hear. So if you want to call in, or be a guest on the show, or just shoot the bull with us, we're all about it.
Yeah.
We're all about talking with other
That's,
race fans. We're not just about talking with drivers. We want to talk to race fans too.
Definitely.
That's
yeah.
very important to us too. And we're going to be putting this content out everywhere.
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're gonna-
I'm
Yeah.
just excited. Give us some
Yeah.
honest feedback. This was our first
Give-
podcast we ever recorded.
Give us some feedback. Give us some word that you want to hear. And yeah, we're just excited to get going with this, and we want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear what you have to say and what you want to talk about with us. And I've never done a podcast before, so I don't know what else to say.
all we can say is roll the outro.
Loose off the corner. Around he went.
Welcome to the low line.
Just talking. Here he comes. He got it this time. It's going to be a drag race. Wow. They touch. Brad Keselowski won this race.